Okay, let's understand the topic of conditional formatting, and it is also a part of basic data manipulation. So first of all, what is conditional formatting and why we need conditional formatting? Now, suppose given a data set, you have different data set, right, and you want to understand the data, what kind of data it is, okay, and then again you want to segregate the data into different parts. Okay, you want to see, okay, let's see the top 10% of data. Okay, now suppose you have data of a class having 60 to 70 students, and I want to see the marks of, suppose, subject 1. Okay, and I want to see, okay, give me the list of the first 10% student in that class on this subject, right? So how do you get this, right? So for those kind of tasks, the conditional formatting basically gives you the answer, right? So conditional formatting in Excel enables you to highlight cells with a certain color and depending on the cells value. So what is basically happening, suppose given this data, if you want that give me all the numbers that is greater than 86, so you will have highlighted, so you will get that results in some kind of highlighting mode. Okay, and by looking at the data you can see, okay, this is the result of this basic query. Okay, so now let's understand this through an example. So to highlight cell data greater than a value, execute the following step. Okay, so given this data, now suppose we want to highlight the values that is greater than, suppose, 14, right? So that will be 39, 43, 95, 86, 57. So this will be highlighted, and we want to highlight these things. Okay, so what will you do? So first thing, you need to select this data, right? So this is A. Now you see this is A1 colon A10. Why it is A1 colon A10? Because the column name is A and want first row to 10th row. So A1 means 14, A2 means 6, A3 means 39, A10 means 57. So from A1 to A10, so first you select this range. Now on the home tab in the styles group, click conditional formatting. So now again in the next slide I'll show you how you can do that, right? And then again I'll also show you a demonstration how to do this. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. So just first go through this slide, right? On the home tab in the styles group, click conditional formatting. Just like sorting and filtering, in the home tab you will also have conditional formatting. Now there are different types of fields you will get. So one of the field is click highlight cell rules. Okay, so click highlight cell rules, then you need to select greater than. Then when you click on this, so you will be asked a value. Okay, so there is enter the value that is 80 and select the formatting style. So click OK. So what will happen? Excel highlights the cells that is greater than 80. Okay, and this particular step can be repeated for many other tasks. So I'll discuss this in a minute. So let's see an example. So this is the data, right? And in the bar, so this is actually conditional formatting. Okay, so if you click on this, so this kind of result you will get. Okay, so highlight cell rules, top bottom rules, right? Data bars, color scales, icon sets, but now we'll restrict to this only. So highlight cell rules. So there are different types of options are there: greater than, less than, between, equal to, text that contains. So by looking at this, you can actually assume what, or you can actually guess what you need to do, right? So when you click on greater than, please click write 80 if you want to highlight the cells that is greater than 80. So 80. Okay, so this is the result you will get. Okay, this is how the result will be. A result will be there in front of you, right? So similarly, if you want to highlight the cells that are less than a value, between two values, equal to a value, cells that contain specific text, dates, duplicates or unique values, so you need to repeat whole this step and you need to select any one of them. So depending on your requirement, what you need, you select that, and according to that, suppose between, so you want the numbers or you want to highlight the cell rules that is, suppose, greater than 14 and less than 90. Okay, so that can be also done, right? So this is actually called conditional formatting. So not only greater than, less than, between, equal to, right? Equal to means if you write 43, so this will only be highlighted. Now see, suppose in some cases, suppose your column contains true and false, and you want all the true values, so you can also highlight all the trues equal to, you can write true, then all the cells having true will be highlighted. Okay. Now suppose, now for your problem you want to check something, so you checked. Okay, now you get the idea, okay, what is there in the data. Now you need to clear the highlight cells or whatever you have done, you need to clear it out. Okay, so how you can do that? Again, to clear rules, execute the following step. You select the data on the home tab, again you click on the conditional formatting, and so you are done. In downside you will get clear rules. So what you can do is, you can actually clear rules from the selected cells. Means if you want to specifically delete the conditional formatting from this data or from the entire workbook, okay, entire sheet. Means suppose in different places also you have aligned or highlighted something, you want to remove the rules, so you can do that. Okay, when you select this, that means it already knows you have actually supplied a value 80 and you want the numbers that is greater than 80, so they know that. And if you clear rules that from selected cells, so it will be cleared. Okay, now that is one case. Now to highlight the cells that are above average, now see, there are two things I shown you. One is highlight the cell rules and one is top bottom rules. Top bottom rules means basically you want to see the top 10%, top 10%, bottom 10% or bottom 10%. Okay, so both all are different actually, so accordingly you can do that. So what you can do, suppose you want to see all the people above average, execute the following steps. Again same, you will select the data cells, you will select the conditional formatting, click top and bottom rules, above average, select the formatting style, click OK. So what will happen, given this data from A1 to A10, it will calculate the average, okay, and format the cells that are above the average. Okay, right? So now again same thing you can also do, repeat step 3 to highlight the top n items, to top n%, the bottom n items, the bottom n% or cells that are below average. So there are many options, you can do that. You see, if you go to top bottom rules, top 10 items, top 10%, bottom 10 items, bottom 10%. See, bottom 10 items and 10% both are different. Now suppose you have 100 samples, so bottom 10 items and bottom 10% will be same, but if your sample size is 50 or 200 or 300, then these two are different. Above average, below average means, above average means the average of these numbers will be calculated and the numbers that are greater than average will be highlighted. In this case, the average will be calculated, the numbers less than below average will be highlighted, right? And for the selected range width, and again you can also specify different colors. Okay, so but at the beginning you don't have to specify colors, it will be taken automatically. Even if you want to change the color, then you can go ahead and check, and again you can go deep into it by looking at the references. Okay, then this will be highlighted, right? So now let's do some examples over here in data.xls. So we have this data, right? So let's zoom a little bit. So where do you find conditional formatting? See, this is where you find conditional formatting, right? And suppose you want to work with cells. Okay, so this is, we have selected conditional formatting, highlight cell rules greater than, suppose 5000. Is there any cell? And see, by default it is there, light red fill with dark red text, yellow fill with dark yellow text. So depending on you can change the color. Suppose I am taking yellow. See, these are the numbers or these are the cell values which are actually greater than the condition I have given, right? Now again see, so this you can, this the result you get, and you know these are the things, right? So these are the numbers you got. Then what you can do is you can go to here, clear rules, to clear rules from the selected cells. So rules will be selected. Okay, see the rules have gone. Now again, suppose I go and greater than, we have checked. So less than 6,000. So there are three values that are less than 6,000. Clear rules. Let's check this. Right. So clear rules done. Then again, suppose between. So between, say there are two numbers. So I want 5,000 and 10,000. So how many values are there? That is between 5,000 and 10,000. So there are four values which are greater than 5,000 and less than 10,000. Right. Similarly, you can do lot of other tasks given these things. Text means, so your data content should contain text. So you already have text, so you can do that. So there are many things you can do. Right. Next, come to this top bottom rules. So top 10 items. Format cells that rank in a top, right? So first select a cell. So top 10 items. So these are the top 10 items. Okay. And now suppose top 10%. First let me clear this. Right. So this is the top 10%. Okay. Bottom 10 items. Sorry. These are the bottom 10 items. Okay, so there are how many values? 14 values. So 4 are there and 10 are bottom 10 items. And if you look at the 10%, so there are total 14. So it should be only one value should be top bottom 10%. Right, so only one is coming. Right, so only one, because there are total 14. 10% means 1.4, so 0.4 does not count, so only one value will come. Right. So I hope this is clear. Conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. So there are different options, and top bottom rules, there are different options. Above average, see, automatically it calculates the average and give you the result. So first clear these rules, and top bottom, below average. See, these are the values that are below average of the total average. Okay, let's understand the topic chart. Right, before going any slides further, so why do we need chart? Right, so I think in most of the cases or presentations or videos, you have seen different types of charts and people are explaining about that. Right, so now when you have lots of data, so it is actually not easy to visualize the data. Sorry, it is not actually visualized to data in the form of data set, right? So instead, if you have some diagrams and visualization, so it will be very easy for us to understand, right? So search do the same thing. So a simple chart in Excel can say more than a sheet of full of numbers, right? So now suppose this is some data we have, so we are not actually clear about what this data tells us, right? So now again, it is a very small data set, maybe possible we understand by looking at it, but when you have large data set, so it's not easy to understand the data by looking only at the numbers, right? So in that case, search will give you a lot of visualizations, right? So you can visualize your data with the help of chart. So charts help you visualize your data in a way that creates maximum impact on your audience. Means anyway, suppose you show this data to your friends, so out of 100 of your friends, only suppose 70 to 80 people understand this data. But if you show a chart to 100 of those friends of yours, so almost all of them will understand the chart, right? So now the question is, how do you create chart in Excel, right? So now for that, again, just like sorting, filtering, you have this area called chart. So you have different types of chart in Excel, so you can draw chart from there, right? So we'll see one by one. So create a line chart. Now line chart is a basic type of chart. Okay, so to create a line chart, execute the following steps. So select the range A1 to D7. That means now you are selecting this data A1 to A7, then D7, right? So A1 to D7, so this data you are selecting. Then now to insert the chart, what you need to do is you go to insert tab. Just like for filtering and sorting, you have to go to data. Now you have to go to insert tab. Okay, and in the insert tab you have this chart. Okay, and you need to click on this line symbol, right? So now when you click on this line symbols, you have many different types of line chart, but we are not going into details of 3D and 2D area. We'll just focus on the line chart, that is 2D line. Okay, so in this you can actually practice what you can use. So we'll use this one, line with markers, right? So use this chart type to show trend over time or categories. So the data we have, it's actually representing these things, right? So it is actually showing trend over time, because we have Jan, February, March, April, May, June, like this, and you have some data for different animals, right? And use it when order of the categories is important, and there are few data points. Okay, order of the categories, so these are some orders, right? So this is so when you click on this is the result you get. Now you can see from this graph, you can easily say, okay, this is Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, right? And these are actually numbers, right? Now this blue color represents bears, right? And you see the trend of bears from January to February, February to March, it is actually increasing. Now when you talk about dolphins, you see the trend is decreasing from January to June. And when you talk about whales, it is sometimes it is decreasing, sometimes it is increasing, like this it is going on. So it is very easy to visualize the data in the form of some graph. Next, so now we have seen line chart. So you can also change the chart type. Now suppose you want to change the chart type from line to columns, right? Right, so on the design tab in the type group, change the change chart type. So you can see this button, right? So you can change, and on the left side you click column, click OK. So this kind of column chart you'll get, right? But now in today's the latest version of Excel, you don't have to go through this. You will directly get all the columns over here only. And again, it is different from the web version of the Excel and the desktop version of the Excel, but this you will find easily. Okay. So again, suppose you want from different types. Suppose you want to, we already seen line chart, you seen column, you want bar graph, pie. So you can do with the help of these options, right? Now suppose till now what we have done, we have data for Jan, Feb, right? And we are showing data for bears, dolphins and whales. Now suppose we want to change these two. We want Jan, Feb, March to this, right? And we want to have this animal's name over here. So for that, what you can do is you can actually switch the row and column. Okay, so if you want to display the animals on the horizontal axis, means horizontal axis, you want to show the elements, execute the following step, select the chart, right? Switch row and column. So here you will get switch row and column. So when you click on this, automatically the rows will be converted into columns, columns will be converted into rows. You see, now the graph will come like this. Okay, now what happens, so you can, now this is actually called legend, right? So you can also change the position of legend in different ways, and also you can write the name of the chart over here. Okay, so legend position, legend basically signifies what are the colors you are using, what it signifies. Okay, to move the legend to the right side on the chart, execute the following steps. So if you use Excel, you will see, you go to legend, you select in which part you want to show your legend, and accordingly you can display it. Okay, so legend basically signifies the bars you are using over here, what those all signifies. Just like in maps, you have different symbols in the map, and you have to know what those symbols signify, so you look at the legend. So legend, this signifies the colors or the symbols that you use in your chart, right? Otherwise, yeah, if I will not say, okay, what does this what is this, so you will not be able to recognize, okay, what does signify. Okay, right? So again, now what you can do is, now for every this column, so suppose this is some number, right? So you want to print the numbers of these bars. So suppose this is 2, this is 55 or something like this. So what you can do is, just like here 1, so you can print actually the data labels. So there also what you can do, you can use data labels to focus your reader's attention on a single data series or data point. Okay, so you can actually print out the data labels, and specifically you can, for a single column also, you can print it out the data label. So why it is necessary? Because now one I am printing, that means what, it is actually depletion state, right? In June, the number of dolphin is 1, right? Wildlife population. So you see, it is continuously decreasing, and it's actually an interesting issue you should look upon, right? So what you need to do is, so if you want to focus your readers towards something, you can use data labels. So select the chart, click a green bar to select the June data series, hold down Control and use your arrow keys to select the population of dolphins in June, right? Click the plus button on the right side of the chart and click the checkbox next to data label. So you need to check on this. Okay, so this is how you can do it. So let's do this, all of these things practically. So let's move from here to Excel. I have created this data, so let's zoom a little bit. Okay, let's not zoom too much. Okay, now for this, so what you need to do is, you need to select, right? And see, now how do you select all? So shift arrow, you can select, or control down, so it will select all the data, right? So if you like this, so shift, what I have done, I press the button shift, then control, right arrow, so it will select all the columns, then down arrow, it will select all the rows, right? So this data is selected. Now what you need to do is, you need to insert chart, right? So you go to insert tab, then see, this is whole section is about chart, right? So in the chart, what I am going to do is, I am actually going to plot only 2D, right? So these are the options I have in the online version of Excel. So I click on this, see, this chart came in front of me very easily, right? Okay, so this is how you create a chart, right? Now what you can do is, now you want to change this chart to column, so you can create, click on this, so you see the chart have changed from line to column, right? You want to see, now this is called stacked bar, right? Stacked bar. So it is also a different way to represent your graph, right? But as we all know, this is actually easy for us to understand, right? So that means there are 3 different animal types. Or if you look at this here also, you will see these are there. So this is bear, this is dolphins, this is whales, right? So let's stick to this one, right? So now what you can do is, you can title right. So you have given a title this, and you can move around this chart to any point, right? Now so here now suppose you want to change the chart title, edit chart title. So now this is the chart. So if I want to chart visualization, you see the title have been changed, title axis. So you want to change the horizontal or title axis, right? You can write animals. This is the horizontal axis. Then you want to numbers, see the numbers. Okay, now it's more easy to understand, right? So now this is our legend. What does blue signifies, what does orange signifies, and what does gray signifies, right? So this is called legend. So you have different options. So legend at right, you can show your legend over here. You can show legend at top, right? You can show legend at left. So as per your requirement, you can change the. So it's better to show the legend at the right. This is the best way to show the legend, because in the horizontal axis we know, okay, this is this is not animals, this is chart title, where it is, axis, that is month. It is not animals, it is month, right? Then data labels, so center. So these are the data labels, but I don't want that to be displayed in the center, so it should be in top. Okay, then now suppose I want to change this month to animals. So what you can do is you can switch row and columns. You see, now what is this coming? These are the months. So this is for bears, this is for dolphins, this is for whales. Now again you need to change the horizontal axis. So now this is animals. Okay, and this is the legend. You see, automatically legend have been changed. So the way you want your chart to look like, and the way you want to make people understand, that is how you can create your chart, right? Data label, suppose I don't want the data labels, so this is the data. Okay. So this is how chart will work. Again, suppose you want to show the data inside, and this is also you can show, right? And apart from this, there are different types of pie graph, there are different types of bar graphs, different types of area graphs. So depending on your requirement, scatter plot, right, and others. So whatever you need, you can select from here as per your requirement, and you can go ahead with exploring these things, right? All the best for exploring. Just go through all of these options, try to understand what single of them works. Now suppose this I want to look like this. Suppose now in this case data labeling is not necessary, right? So this is what this line signifies. Okay, earlier we have this one, right? Now this one. So by changing, so the way you want, you can actually change the chart. If you want to go into deep on these topics, you can refer to these references. The first link is excellent help Excel Help and Learning Center, that is from Microsoft. This is the link. You can go and explore more for these topics over here. Second one is, it is a MOOC course on Coursera. So I believe you know Coursera. So this course is Introduction to Data Analysis Using Excel. It's given by S. Borley, and you can find this course on this link. And apart from this reference, you will find many other tutorials and help in Google, so you can go and explore more by yourself. If you have further questions on these topics, you can write your queries to this mail ID. This is my mail ID, practice.deka@galgotiasuniversity.edu.in. So this is our Galgotias University domain, and this is my personal mail ID on Galgotias University. Right? So looking forward for your questions. You can ask at any time, and you can write your queries at any time. Thank you so much.